So we have a very special guest speaker with us tonight, and his name is Daniel Brooks, and he is here representing Good Counsel, right? And I'm not going to steal too much of his thunder. I'll let him tell you all about Good Counsel. But what I do know about Mr. Brooks is that he is a passionate individual for self-growth, for self-change, self-motivation, and he's done tons of work in the Virginia area, impacting the lives of many individuals, from youth to adults, who are committed to change and committed to empowering themselves, right? So we have a huge treat today. What I know and what I've learned is that it's hard to take care of anybody or anything until you first take care of yourself, right? So being self-aware, being self-powered, having that self-esteem, right? So we've got to be able to take care of ourselves and our needs, to take care of our kids' needs, to take care of our other family members' needs. And that's what I hope we'll learn tonight, right? To take away some tools and some tips to be able to fill our cups, so that we can fill the cups of the ones that we love and that we're over. So I am very excited about the opportunity. I'm very excited that Mr. Brooks has decided to join us. I want to shout out Mrs. Cromartie, who I see is here. Ms. Cromartie is our school social worker who helped to organize this event for us. I see Ms. Atkinson is here, who's our school counselor. Shout out to Ms. Atkinson and all the work you do for our students. And as you know, we have some other staff members that join us. We'll try to introduce them as well. But without further ado, I'll turn it over to Mr. Brooks. Let him get started. And again, we're in for a treat. Keep your fingers by your mute buttons just in case you need it. But Mr. Brooks, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. I really, truly appreciate that. I appreciate the Academy of Smith, Mrs. Cromartie, for having me this evening. I need you as parents to know that you all have leaders and leadership that care so much about you and your young people, that it shows that them taking the time out of their day to bring quality people into your life is super important. So I thank you, Dr. Harris, Mrs. Cromartie, and Ms. Atkinson, I believe you said, that are on. I appreciate you all for having me this evening. To the parents, I'm super excited. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm not going to, drag it out. And that's not just me saying it. You know how preachers say at church. I'm not going to keep you too long. We're really going to get in, hit it, and see how I can support you all this evening. And as Dr. Harris said, my name is Daniel Brooks. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in Roanoke, Virginia. I was born and raised a little bit south of Roanoke. It's about 45 minutes south of Virginia Tech, in a place called, a small town called Franklin County. I went on and attended Hampton University, where I received my psychology degree. And then about 8 years later, after doing everything you can imagine in the mental health field, I went back to get my master's degree out here at Radford University. And since then, I've been a therapist, mental health coach, perspective trainer. I've done everything you can imagine. I tell people all the time that the only thing I'm good at is helping people. That's the absolute only thing I'm good at. So I'm super excited to be with you guys this evening, and we're going to hang out. So really quickly, I gave you guys some homework, and like Dr. Harris said, I'm going to tell you even different. We're going to hang out. This is going to be more of a conversation. I want to see your faces. At the very least, I just want you to give me a little bit of feedback and talk to me. The more we can do this, just like we tell our parents, I know many of you all have probably yelled at your kid a couple of times, turn that camera on so that teacher can see you. So I want to make sure we're practicing what we preach and what we give to our young people. So we're just going to hang out for a few minutes. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I just really want to talk about who we are, where we are, and where we want to go as parents and as leaders that we are. Whether you think it or not, you're a leader, you're a parent. You lead your household day in and day out. So we're going to make sure we talk about that. So I asked really quickly at the beginning for each one of you, and I'm only going to ask for 3 volunteers to hop on and tell me what you grabbed. I'll go first just so you understand what I'm talking about, so you guys can have a quick example. So really quickly, I grabbed, it's a cube. All right, it has awesome, excited, happy, rich, which I'm working on. Just all these different happy, all these different things on it. My wife got me this when I left my job. I left my job in the middle of the pandemic this past 2020. I was a school social worker for a couple years. And as soon as the pandemic happened, I got this vision and this overwhelming just need that I knew it was more I wanted to do. So when my wife designed my at-home office, she put these blocks in there to remind me of that I'm smart, that I'm happy, that I'm excited, that I'm going to be rich one day, and all those things. So I keep it close to me, and I turn that depending on what I need to feel from myself on that particular day. So anybody want to go next? We're going to popcorn this thing, and anybody just hop in. Don't make me call your name.
I'll go next, if that's all right.
Yes,
so
sir.
I found this paper clip up here, right? So I truly feel, and I think an event such as this, I think speaks volumes to this paper clip, right? So my job as a leader, especially of a school, is to bring in the whole things together. And you wouldn't imagine all the things that happen throughout a day, a school semester, a school year. And it is my job and my privilege to be able to, or to be charged with trying to hold it together for us. So that's why I grabbed this paper clip, because it represents my charge of holding and keeping things together and intact.
Love it. Thank you, Dr. Harris. That's a little bit cheating because the principal went first. So we're going to take it.
I got to lead by example.
You're right. You're right. You lead the vote, right? Let's go. I saw you hop in, Miss Sinclair. Not to call you out, but I saw your camera come on. So you're on mute.
That was because I was trying to be obedient. You said turn the camera.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
But I did grab a candle because I try to give positive vibes and be the light, especially in the midst of these trying times, and just being a light and being caring and compassionate.
Ms. Sinclair, that's phenomenal. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else? It don't got to be that deep. You can just grab your car keys if that's something close to you. Anything, Ms. Sinclair, I appreciate that. Ms. Parker?
I'll go.
Yeah.
My name is Brittany Parker. I have two students at the Academy at Smith. I have a 9th grader and a 10th grader. I'm also a student in the master's program of School of Social Work. So I have had this gift card to a spa, and it has literally been sitting on my desk for a year. So I know we're talking about self-care and self-awareness. So I do think, and I've looked at it and I was like, okay, I need to book me a spa. I need to book me a spa. And I work and I do my mommy duties, and I just have not took the time yet to book this spa. So now that I've looked at it for like the 100th time tonight, I think it's a great time that I need to just really just do something for myself.
I love it. And by the end of the night, Ms. Parker, you're going to feel convicted that you should. So by the end of the night, the very next thing you should be able to do is book that. Even if I see your camera go off tonight, I'm going to think that you're going ahead and book that massage.
Okay.
Thank you. Last person. There we go.
Hi.
Hey.
Holly Bell, Anthony Bell, Nari's mom, and father. I put sunshine, money. I'm a crafter. So I like to put smiles on people's face. I'm trying to make sure my business grow. I just love crafting.
I love it.
And I grab my phone for communication, wisdom, knowledge, and perspective.
That's amazing. That's phenomenal. I thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. That really means a lot. And we just wanted to kind of start there because the things in our environment describe who we are in so many different ways. And sometimes we have to be willing to look at ourselves and from different facets, depending on what we have access to and what we have. So tonight, we're going to dive into, the power of self, how important it is to take care of self. As Dr. Harris alluded to at the beginning, he talked about the importance of taking care of you, even outside of your students. Anyone who's been on an airplane, and haven't been on an airplane for so long, I think I forgot what it's like to fly. But one of the most amazing things, not amazing things, but one of them things that they tell you when you get on the airplane, when you're going through the pre-flight precautions and the stewardess is going through her spiel, they say that in the event of an emergency, if the oxygen mask were to come down, they tell you to put it on you first, right? Somebody put it in the chat why it's important to put it on you first. Come on, talk to me. I ain't gonna make you come off mute, or you come off mute. Put it in the chat. Why is it important to put the oxygen mask on you first? Anybody?
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation. I love it. I love it. I love it. You're absolutely right, Mr. Bell. Self-preservation, taking care of you. You can't take care of anyone else unless you put the mask on you first. If you don't have any oxygen, like Ms. Tracy said, you can't help others if you don't help yourself first. Exactly. And that's so much easier when we're talking about everyone else. But when we're talking about our kids and our family, it's no, save them first. But what I need us to understand, if we don't get anything else from tonight, is that as parents, as leaders, it's super important that we put that mask on ourselves, because as we start to become depleted, we can't parent at the best we can. We can't give wide wisdom and give good counsel to the individuals that we need to give it to if we aren't taking care of ourselves. COVID has thrown a monkey wrench in everything, to say the least. We're slowly coming back to whatever the new normal may be. But at the very beginning, we didn't know what was going to happen. And truth be told, we were telling our kids all of this information when in reality, we didn't really know what to do either. Right? If we're totally honest with ourselves, because none of us, for the most part, have lived through anything similar to what happened with COVID and the world shutting down. So all of us got it how we were able to, figured it out as we went, and we tried to come out on the back end of it the best we could. So this evening, that's why the focus of this evening is just focusing back on ourselves, putting ourselves back together in different ways that we can do that, and how we're going to move forward with it. Any questions before I get started? Good. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen really quickly. There we go. Everybody can see that. So really quickly, again, my name is Daniel Brooks. I'm super excited. This is the power of self. We're going to talk about a little bit about self-care, self-esteem, and self-awareness, and how all of those things have something in common, and it's you. You are the most thing that's in common with you, what you do and how you treat yourself. So really quickly, they say in any presentation, if you show somebody pictures of your family, they're more than likely to listen. Right. So up in the corner, that's me as a little, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. I was confused. If you can tell, I have a bowling trophy and a basketball in my hand. I don't know what I was doing back then, but I guess I just like to play everything. Down in the bottom right corner is really the cornerstone of my house. That's my amazing wife, Nicole. She's a licensed nail technician. She runs a business called Pampered with Purpose, where she mixes mental health support with nail services. And then down at the bottom, that's my dog, Sir. He really runs the house. He eats in our bed and does whatever he wants most of the time. So that's our family. And something about me is, again, this is what I love to do. I love to pour into individuals. I was given a vision early on at the start of 2020, prior to the pandemic, to let my light out. And then the pandemic hit, and I still had to decide to move forward. So I still was able to leave my job in June of 2020, and I've been walking on this faith-filled journey ever since. By the end of this, everyone who came on tonight, you'll get free access to my brand new ebook called The Assignment, that kind of outlines my journey up until where we are now. So moving forward, what is good counsel? Really quickly, our slogan is to make healing possible. And we do that in 3 different tiers: through connection, education, and innovation. We have various different services that help to deplete and tear down the barriers of mental health treatment and services by connecting individuals to services, educating individuals about who they are, who they want to be, and how the different services can help them. And then innovative ways, different ways that we can reach individuals. And one of the primary ways we do that is called our Motivate the Game portal, where we help athletes. We mix sports training with therapy, and we do therapeutic sports training for local athletes. So really quickly, I want everyone to come off mute really quickly. You don't have to turn your camera on. I just need everyone to come off mute. Thank you. So I need everyone to say the following word that you see on the screen 5 times fast. Go.
Silk, 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 silk.
What do cows drink?
Milk. I mean,
They drink milk. All right. So hold on, you guys can go back on mute. So really quickly, so cows know they don't drink milk. Cows drink water, right? But what I do this activity early on in any of our presentations, just to number one, show you how if you say something loud enough and long enough, you start to believe it, right? And so often in our lives, we go through our day-to-day lives and we're assuming what's going to happen next. Just like with the word silk, no one really questioned themselves, but I saw Miss Parker kind of think about it for a second. But far too often we take on information and we don't question it, right? We just say silk, 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 silk. Well, do cows drink milk? So we're spending a majority of our lives and a majority of our day just assuming. It's almost like we talk about with our drive home. At this point, unless you move to where you live at, for the most part, you don't even have to think when you're driving home. So this is 95% of our day we're spent just assuming or just going through the motions. What if we were able to add in just 5% more onto our day where we're self-aware, we're taking care of ourselves, and we're able to improve our self-esteem? That would cause us to be able to improve 5% better, but that would cause 5% more 5% more amount of better sleep, 5% more better health, and taking care of ourselves. So it's super important that we focus on not assuming, but trying to be aware and embrace the moment. So really quickly, what if I said that you could only have one car for the rest of your life, right? Someone hop on and talk to me. We're gonna have a conversation really quick. Somebody hop on. Ms. Cromartie, come on for a second.
Okay.
So
kind of car would I like?
Yeah. Is it what kind of car would you pick if there was one?
I already know. I want a Mini Cooper. I want it red with blacked out tires. I want a drop top, and I want a system.
I love it. I love it. You do an Italian job out there. I love it. You want the Mini Cooper, but you will want that for the rest of your life. So if I told you could only have that car for the rest of your life, what type of things would you do to it to make sure it lasted?
Oh. I'll have me some run flats.
I love it.
Oh gosh, I need a paint job that doesn't expire.
Okay, I like it.
I need a fuel system that's the top of the line, the best of the best.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I got a dog. And I don't know. I can't think of it. I can't think of everything.
I love it. No. I absolutely love it because when you think about it, like I gotta have this car forever. Like that's a hard thing to think about. And I added some stuff at the bottom. You of course would have to like it. Ms. Cromartie said it's a Mini Cooper. She knew the color. She knew what it was supposed to do. She would have to take care of it. Like she said, the paint job and making sure it has the run flats. She would have to do frequent maintenance on it to make sure it's up to date, and she would be mindful of its appearance and make sure it has all the updates, even though you're going to have it for the rest of your life, right? So, but what happens is so often we forget that we're that car, right? So if you were to look at yourself, you were given one body, one mind, one soul, one life. So just like I told Ms. Cromartie that she would have this one car, that all these great things she would do to it, that's the same way we have to take care and treat ourselves. And I know it can sound cliche and we can do it in theory. Oh, I do take care of myself. But the same way, if there was only one car, we would do all these things to it, take it for its checkups, make sure it looks great, make sure we update it every year, even though it might be 50 years old. We would still update it and make sure it's up to date with all the things. Same thing we need to start to recognize with ourselves. So as we go through tonight, I want you to think of yourself as that car, right? And you don't even have to necessarily like cars, but if your car that you have right now needed to sustain, even over the past however many years you've had it, you've had to get an oil change, you've had to wash it at least once, you've had to do something to maintain it. I want you to focus on you being that person and how you look at yourself and how you're going to maintain yourself, because you're going to outlast your car that you have right now, right? So I really want you guys to focus on that as we go through this evening of what are you going to do to take care of yourself, because there's only one you, and that's the most important thing and being on earth is you. So really quick, we're going to move right along. So self-care, that benefits the mind and the soul. So we're going to talk about it. I'm honestly, I know a lot of us have heard this word self-care, especially in the mental health world. It's become this cliche buzzword. I'm almost tired of hearing it, right? Like what really does it mean? Like, what is self-care, and what does it look like? And every time we hear self-care, things come to mind. Well, matter of fact, I don't even want to say, what comes to mind when you say the word self-care? Somebody talk to me really quick, because I can't see the chat right now because I'm sharing my screen. So someone hop on, give me a couple things that come to mind when I say self-care.
Mindfulness.
Oh, wow, I like that. What else? I need 2 more.
Peace.
Mental health.
Peace, mental health. Good. You're absolutely right. And you guys gave way better examples than normally what I get. Most of the time is going out to drink or doing certain things that are good, that they're just separate than what I get to do on a day-to-day basis, or having to spend some type of money going on trips, which is all great self-care habits. But we have to be able to recognize that our mind and our soul are just as important. So when we go through our self-care portion this evening, I just want to give you some tips and things that you can add to your toolbox that may be known, but just some different ways that we can kind of look at them. And self-care essentially is how we feel about ourselves and actually what we're able to do for ourselves and what we do. So really quickly, the first self-care tip I just want you guys to have, is not even on my slides. Give yourself grace, right? It's okay. We're parents, right? Like I said earlier, no one knew how to manage what was going on. No one knew, I'm not going to put Dr. Harris on the spot, but he knew what to do with the school, but really the school system didn't even know how to manage what was happening. So what I want you all to do is give yourself grace. Let yourself know that I'm doing the best and absolutely best that I can, even if you don't feel like you are doing the best you can. Where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. So give yourself that small bit of grace, because regardless of who you believe in or what you believe in, you know, that spiritual being that you believe in, that man above or that higher power has already given you grace, right? So I want you to be able to give yourself, the hardest person for us to forgive is always ourselves. So I want you to give yourself grace and just make it your mission to continue to move forward. So really quickly, I can't see my. So no one will ever take care of you as well as you take care of yourself, right? That's just a little quote I just wanted to add in there for you guys to resonate on and kind of think about. There is absolutely no one, I don't care, Mr. and Mrs. Bell, I know you guys love each other and you all are great, but that other person can't, even your spouse, no matter who it is, they can't take care of you because they don't know every piece that you need that's inside of you. We can share but so much, but you as an individual, you know exactly what you need. So that's the only reason that no one else can take care of you better than you can take care of yourself. So I really want you all to remember that and take that to heart as we move forward. Self-talk. So this is also a part of self-care, is what you say to you. I really want you guys to focus on what you say and how you say it to yourself. I hate, not I hate, that's a strong word. I dislike when people say, you know, change your negative thoughts, stop your negative thoughts. Yes, that's possible, but it's almost impossible to stop every negative thought. It's proven that about 80% of our thoughts are negative, right? Or something to do with some type of negative decision. So all I say and how I present it to individuals is that I want you to not necessarily focus on stopping this negative behavior, stopping this negative thoughts. Focus on adding in good stuff, right? So if we can't stop those negative thoughts, I want you to focus on that. If 80% of this stuff is negative, I'm gonna try my best to add in as much positive as I can to try to combat those things. And you have full control over that. So when we say self-talk, really quickly, let me make sure. Imagine you were your best friend, right? It's so easy for us. I say this all the time in therapy when I have individuals, even adults especially, when I say, tell me what's going on, and they struggle. And I say, well, tell me about the friend you got that's struggling, right? It's so much easier for us to talk about our friend or what's going on. What type of compliments would you give your best friend? Someone tell me, I think I can maybe go to the chat. No, I can't. Nope, I can't even go to the chat. So someone tell me some of those positive compliments you've given your friends before.
I have the chat open, Mr. Brooks. I can tell you if something comes in the chat.
Yep. If anybody put it in the chat, Ms. Cromartie, let me know. What's some of those compliments that you've given your friend, or if you were your best friend, what's some of those compliments you would give? You talking, Ms. Cromartie? I can't hear you. Okay. Anybody? Type it in the chat.
You are beautiful.
You are beautiful. I love it. Yes, you are. Good.
I value your input from Miss Tracy. Dr. Harris said, those shoes are dope.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So if any more come in, you can just chime in, Ms. Cromartie. So even with those things, we're able to give that individual, if we we're able to look at ourselves like our best friend, we will be able to give them those compliments and be able to talk to them in a way that will boost our self-esteem and who we are. So it's super important that you look at yourself and you spend a few minutes looking at yourself in the mirror and let the compliments fly. So really quickly, I want you to absolutely do it. Keep your thing on mute.
You are handsome.
You are handsome. Yes, you are. So I want
you can do it. I believe in you.
You can do it. I believe in you. So that's just a trick for you to be able to, if you need to say something to yourself and it doesn't feel right, just imagine you're your best friend, right? So what I want you to do, keep your computers on mute. You can leave your screens off. Also, I'm going to give you about 1 minute, right? And we're going to, this is totally up to you. You can choose to think if I should do it or not, if it matters, but don't come off mute, stay on mute. And I'm going to give you 1 minute, and I want you to say as many powerful things out loud about yourself that you can. Don't come off mute. You don't got to say it to me. I'm going to give you 1 minute starting now. Good. You're phenomenal. Good. Keep going. I purposely did a minute. We should be able to tell great things to ourselves for an hour. So keep going. Keep going. 20 seconds. Keep going. Keep pouring into yourself. Keep going. I love it. 10 seconds. Get those last few and speak them out loud. Let the universe hear how you feel about yourself. And time. Good. I absolutely love it. I can still see Miss Sinclair and Miss Cromartie on the screen, and I was able to see you all talking to yourself. There's something powerful about what you say to yourself. When you leave your house, you can't control anything else that anyone else is going to say or do to you, unfortunately. But you can control what you do and say to yourself, right? Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Parker said that was good, and I have to agree. I even feel better just doing that for 1 minute.
I love it.
Yeah, that was good. I have to agree, Ms. Parker. Yes, it was good.
I love it. I love it. Just taking that time. That's self-care. We always think of that self-care has to be something we spend money on, even though Miss Parker does have a massage that she can just mail to me if she don't want it. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be this thing we have to spend money on. Everything we need, we already have. Just being able to speak life into yourself and into your situation and just speak it out loud, even if you don't even feel it, right? You can trick your brain into thinking whatever you needed to think. Right? So if you can focus on negative things, you're going to start to go to these negative things. We're able to focus on those positive things. And that's the absolute truth, right? It can sound very elementary, but it's the absolute truth. If you're able to say and do great things for yourself, you'll start to attract great things to you, right? Even when it doesn't seem like it, those things will continue to come to yourself.
Ms. Sinclair shared, the words we say can brighten our day.
I love it. You're absolutely right. all day, every day. They absolutely can. And what you say to yourself is the most important thing that can be said to you at any given point of your day and in your life. So mindfulness, someone said that earlier, talking about mindfulness. And so just a quick way to, when you need to think about mindfulness, because mindfulness is almost becoming one of those buzzwords too, right? So I want you to think about it like stop thinking and just be, right? So when we think about mindfulness, I don't want you to think about nothing else. I just want you to stop thinking and just be. Because far too often we're getting caught in how I describe it when I talk about anxiety and depression, when I'm educating young people and educating people about how to understand it. Anxiety is when you're worried about the future, about things that haven't happened yet. Depression is when you can't get over the past, right? So when we're worried about those things we can't control, we're not mindful of the moment. So all I want you guys to take away from tonight is to stop thinking at a time and just be. This can be a 2-minute exercise. You just spend a minute saying great things to yourself, and then just spend another minute to try your best to stop thinking and just be there in the moment. I'm telling you that will allow you, just in that 2 minutes of your day, when your kids, when those 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th, 12th, whatever grade you have, when they're going and things are going 1,000 miles per hour, I want you to take a second, say amazing things to you, stop thinking and just be, and then make a decision from the best version of yourself, right? Let's not make a decision out of this emotional roller coaster or this negative place that we in. If we can help it, let's take time to make a decision about our future and about our life from a great place just by saying amazing things to ourselves. So a way that we can be mindful, eat, right? So when we talk about eating, I know when I eat too much already, I'm probably eating the wrong things. But when was the last time you ate and recognized you were eating? Right? Like, think about it. Like there's something that I teach parents and I teach adults. It's called mindful eating, right? So when you're eating, as opposed to thinking of, turning on a movie, or even sometimes we talk to our family, which is fine. I'm not telling you to stop that, or we're on our phone while we're eating, or we're trying to hurry up in between meetings and eat. Tell me, how often have you actually just thought about the meal and every bite that you took, right? So one thing that I want you to be mindful of moving forward is just be mindful when you're eating. That's something quick also that you can just do at home. I'm not telling you to spend no money. And Mr. and Mrs. Bell, take a moment just to go out to a nice restaurant. All of you guys, take wherever it may be, if it's a nice restaurant or if it's just at home, even if it's just some ramen noodles, take a second and just be mindful that you're eating. And that's something amazing that you already have to spend the time eating anyway. You already got to take the 15, 20 minutes. So it's not like it's taking time out of your day. If you just take a moment and just be mindful of every bite. That was good. Wow, I tasted every piece. Wow, I can cook. Man, that's a little hot. I promise you that it would do something to you in your day that you get to steal about 15 minutes for yourself. Does that make sense? Anybody chime in really quickly? Anything in the chat, Ms. Cromartie?
No, we're looking good, looking good.
Good. Moving right along. So self-esteem is our next part. It's just how you truly feel about you, right? That's really all self-esteem is. When we think about gold, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Dr. Harris shared, I imagine it will give us a renewed appreciation
Most
with
definitely.
a mindfulness of eating.
Most definitely. And that's the thing. A lot of times we think mindfulness like meditation, and we got to sit down, which is great if you have time to meditate. But in this day and time, it's so hard to sit down and do all those amazing things that are good for you. I just want you to have those key things that you can already add into your day. Self-esteem is just how you truly feel about yourself, right? So I really want you guys to focus on, when we think about gold, right? And you think about what gold is. Gold has its highest value when it's in its purest form, right? When gold is liquid, that's when it costs the most. That's when it's the most valuable. it drops his value, even though it seems like a lot to us, but it drops his value when other things are added to it, right? So when we get to 24 karat gold, you couldn't even hold 24 karat gold. So that's why you get 18 and you get 14 karat gold and you get all those things. All that means is something's added to it. So all I want you guys to recognize is that in our lives, so much stuff has been added to us and added to our young people that we got to start to be able to recognize how all of this stuff has been added to us and affected our true value and who we are. So I really want you to think of yourself as that true gold and as that gold plate that you truly are. Embrace who you are. That just goes without saying, right? I really want you, self-esteem comes from not trying to be someone else. Right now during COVID, we got to, wear this mask all the time and we got to cover up who we are. When we come home, we're able to get back in our car, we're able to take it off and it feels good. Our ears aren't rubbing and raw and behind our ears, but we get to be ourselves. We get to take a deep breath. So I want you to take that emotional and that social mask off, so to speak, and really embrace who you are, even as a parent, right? Even with allowing your, and I know this is contrary to popular belief, but even allowing your kids to really know who you are, right? Sometimes we take away, we can find ourselves taking parent and ourselves and separating the two. When really, the moment you can find a way to merge the two and be a parent and be yourself is when it's not this idea of work, right? Because even in relationships, if we're not able to truly be ourselves, then our relationships don't go where they need to go. Truly embrace yourself. And all of you guys will be able to get a copy of this PowerPoint and all that stuff. I'm going to send you guys a lot of other stuff at the end as well. Yes, ma'am.
From your chat, Ms. Celia Parker stated, self-esteem helps me to solve problems more efficiently.
Absolutely right, Ms. Sinclair. Self-esteem helps you to be able to not only solve problems, but also solve them confidently, right? So when we come from the power of self, and that's super important. I love it. Thank you. Try one new thing, right? I know this seems crazy and you see I haven't even ever skydived, but I do that to say that so often in life, especially as I see parents be long-term parents and get into being married. I also do marriage coaching and couples coaching, is that I see after so long, we just get into the monotony of the day-to-day life. So the way that we can improve our self-esteem is trying our best. I'm not saying every day you got to try one new thing, which would be great, but trying one new thing once a quarter, right? Get out of this monotony. And it's proven that if you try one new thing, even if you fail at it, then it will enhance everything else you already do because of that failure, because you tried that new thing. So now you're looking at everything you already do. I'm really good at this, so I'm going to stay here, right? So I want you guys to, take a note and try one new thing. I don't care if it's a new food. I don't care if it's a new drive. I don't care if it's a new nail tech or barber. I'm not going to say barber because men, we know we can only go to, but whatever it may be, try one new thing whenever you can. And I promise you, your self-esteem will skyrocket because you'll start to have more confidence in yourself and your ability to try something new. And recognize who you want to be. It's super important that we have an idea. Someone's trying to be admitted, but I can't click. Hold on one second. Nope, I don't know. So it's super important. It's super important that we focus on who we want to be and how we want to get there. Hold on, I'm trying to. I guess it doesn't want me to stop. It's all right. So it's super important that we focus on those things and that we're able to do what's needed in the time that's needed with focusing on who we want to be and how we want to get there. So self-awareness is our last point. I really want you guys to recognize who you are when no one's watching and what you do when no one's watching, right? That's all self-awareness is when no one's around, who is that person, right? And that's one of the biggest things that are the hardest things for people to kind of talk about. I'm not talking about the person that you dress up and you take out and you present to the world. Self-awareness is truly who you are when no one is watching. So I want you to start to become aware of that person when no one's around. That is the person that I need you to love on. That is the person I need you to care for. That is the person who is truly, absolutely you when no one is watching, right? So I really want you to focus on that and who you are and how you do what you do. I'm really trying to let this person in. Nope. It's okay. I just didn't want to mess up you guys' view. So as we move forward, it's super important that we recognize everything that we do when no one's watching. That's where self-awareness falls. So really quickly, if you have a pen and paper, I hope you guys have been taking notes, so you should have one somewhere nearby. All I want you to do is I want you to put your pen or pencil, whatever you're writing with, into your dominant hand. That's all I want you to do. Let me see if I can let them in from here. That's all I need. Just go ahead and put it in your dominant hand. Now I want you to write your first and last name with your dominant hand. All right. Sorry, I'm seeing if I could let people in. Now I want you to put the pen in your other hand, in your non-dominant hand. Yep, I saw your face, Ms. Parker. Put that pen in the other hand. Good. Now I want you to write your first and last name with your non-dominant hand. Good, good. Are we still writing? Good job. Now I just need one person to come off mute and let's have a conversation really quick. Just one person. I'm not gonna ask you too many questions. I just need one person to come off mute and let's talk for a few minutes. There we go.
Okay, I'll do it.
Good.
I need somebody to go on.
Thank you. So let's go ahead. So when you were writing, tell me which one was easier?
I didn't write, but I would imagine the dominant hand was easier.
Dominant hand, right? So your dominant hand is probably easier because you do it all the time, I would expect, right?
Correct.
It's something you're used to, right?
Yes.
And now if you were to write with your non-dominant hand, how would you imagine it would be?
Slower, more difficult.
Yep.
Maybe had to think about it a little more.
That's it. You're absolutely right. You have to think about it. It would take more focus, right?
Correct.
Do you think you would get the same results as your dominant hand?
Eventually, yes.
Eventually, but in the moment, would it be the exact same?
No, not exactly at all.
Exactly. So, thank you. I appreciate that. So when we're thinking about this, what I want you guys to think, to use this analogy as, is using your dominant hand as being exactly who you were called to be, being exactly yourself all the time. That's your dominant hand. When we write with our non-dominant hand, that's the person that we portray and that we put out into the universe. And far too often, that's the person that we lead out into the world, but we're capable of doing it, but it takes more focus, it takes more of our attention, and we don't get the same results. It takes more time to be that person. So when we're looking at it, I want us to be our dominant self versus our non-dominant self, as far as how we portray ourselves and how our self-awareness and what we do and why we do it. So really quickly, I'm also a certified DISC coach. And this is something that also you all, I'll be emailing you all if you all want to get connected. All of your students were able to go through that DISC assessment. I heard with the last speaker that happened back in, I believe it was February, he went over the DISC and all of your students got access to that DISC assessment. But really quickly this evening, all I want to do is highlight really quickly just different characteristics of different styles and see if they kind of resonate with you, just to kind of highlight some of those points. And like I said, you'll get access towards the end, and I'll be sending each one of you all an email if you want to actually take your DISC assessment and find out kind of where you fall. So I just wanted to first talk about the dominant individual. If you consider yourself more in the dominant or decisive category, you would more than likely be concerned with being number one. You would think more logically. You want facts and highlights. You strive for more results. You like personal choices. You like change, you like a faster pace, you prefer to be in charge, and you have a tendency to kind of to lean in towards conflict. So I really want you guys to recognize that and understand it, because as you know who you are, then you're able to do things like show others how to win. You're able to receive compliments because you know you need them. You're able to change up your routine because you like changes. You're able to kind of recognize those key points about yourself. Next. We got communicating. We have the I, the influencing person. These individuals, this is me. We're concerned with approval and appearance. We seek enthusiastic people and situations. We think emotionally. These eyes, we want to know the general expectations. We want others to notice us. We often need help getting organized. We look for action and stimulation. We surround ourselves with optimism, and we want feedback, and we want to know that things look good with what we do. So again, this is where we're able to use the DISC assessment through coaching to kind of help you to recognize those things about you, so you can start to learn and put yourself in situations so you can, as I talked about earlier, be able to be who you were called to be and be you all the time, as opposed to trying to write with that non-dominant hand. I don't know why my thing's not clicking. Next is S is for steady. These are your steady individuals, people who like things to be a little bit more steady. If this is you, you're concerned with stability. You think more logically, you like personal involvement. You need to know step-by-step sequences. You avoid risk and a lot of changes. You dislike conflict. You enjoy teamwork. All right, so this individual, we call them steady. We look at them as that they like a certain pace. So you start to learn things about yourself as you recognize your characteristics and you become self-aware of who you are. You're able to put yourself in ideal situations and environments. And lastly is our C. These are your cautious or your conscientious individuals, those who like procedures and protocols, think logically, we seek data, we use caution. So all I want to do is show you guys these key points just so you all are able to really dive into who you are and what you do and why you do what you do. So focus on learning who you are, seek support, coaching, therapy, and counseling. And lastly, just want you guys to know that you get the opportunity to get connected with me. All of you all will get access to my brand new ebook for absolutely free, just for coming on this evening, for Dr. Harris putting this together, Ms. Cromartie. It's 7 days of vision, and it's a 7-day devotional that just outlines my journey to how I got here. You can get your youth or get yourself access to your DISC assessment. I'll be sending out some information about how you all can get connected. And you can follow us on social media at We Are Good Counsel, and check us out. Or you can email me directly at Daniel Brooks, just how it's spelled, lcsw@gmail.com, so we can get connected. If there's any therapeutic needs you need, any coaching needs, anything I can be of support with, I'm definitely looking forward to doing. Thank you, God.
Wow, that was powerful. Thank you, Mr. Brooks, for your time and your energy and your wisdom and those nuggets. Often we do these parent groups, but I think today has been our best one yet. It was tremendous, very engaging, and I'm getting a lot of feedback in the chat. So thank you for your time and your investment in us today.